Since entering government in 2020, we have worked hard to deliver on our party's key priorities. First, to get the country through a pandemic, and now as we tackle the cost of living challenge. Whilst we acknowledge the challenging times we live in, it's also important to recognise our party's progress in government. The initiatives we have taken are working and are making a real difference to people's lives and livelihoods, and in easing the cost of living. We are protecting people today and providing for the future. Delivering for Ireland, delivering for you.
Fianna Fáil in government has helped to manage the economy and public finances through unprecedented challenges: Brexit, COVID-19, war in Ukraine, soaring energy prices and inflation. Our economy is one of the fastest growing in Europe, with a record 2.6 million people now at work and strong public finances. In Budget 2024, we provided further financial support to individuals, families and businesses at a time when we know many remain under pressure from the cost of living. We've committed to further investment in our public services on which we all depend and in the infrastructure we need for the future. And we have put in place a long-term plan that will protect living standards for all and will help to make the future more secure for everyone. We are proud of the positive role Fianna Fáil is playing in this government. Ireland faces challenges for sure, but we face them from a position of strength and we face them together.
In healthcare, Fianna Fáil is delivering for people. We're radically reducing the costs of healthcare for patients. This includes abolishing hospital charges, rolling out 500,000 more GP cards, measures like free IVF and free contraception. We're rolling out new services that are badly needed. It includes lots of new services in women's healthcare, in cancer care, dementia care, and many other areas. And thirdly, we're reducing the time it takes people to get access to that care. In fact, there's 140,000 less children, women and men waiting on hospital waiting lists now than at the COVID peak. Last year was the first time the waiting list fell since 2015. We're going to continue rolling out new beds, new surgical hubs, new hospitals, new primary care centres, so that we can deliver the healthcare service that our republic deserves.
We took on the challenge of housing after a decade of undersupply and launched the most ambitious housing plan in the history of our state. Housing for All, with €5 billion per annum to build 300,000 new homes by 2030. The targets we set so far have been met and indeed exceeded. A new era in building of social housing is underway and being felt throughout the country. The increases in houses being built has been accompanied with a range of major initiatives to help people to afford a home. We're helping young people get on the property ladder, delivering the first affordable homes in a generation. And first-time buyers have reached their highest levels since 2008, with the help of the schemes Fianna Fáil and government have introduced. We've also built the highest number of social homes in 50 years. Momentum is building.
Education has always been a core priority for Fianna Fáil. Every major expansion in investment and participation in the history of Irish education has been led by Fianna Fáil in government. We in Fianna Fáil remain steadfastly committed to providing education that is accessible to all. As the Fianna Fáil Minister for Education, I am pleased to have introduced free school books for every pupil in primary school. We have now extended the scheme up to and including junior cycle students. This will save families at least €100 per year for a child in primary school and at least €300 per year for a student in their junior cycle programme. Some of the other initiatives we have introduced over the past 3 years include reforming the Leaving Certificate, reducing class sizes, expanding special education and funding multi-billion euro programme of building and repairing school buildings nationwide. This is the work I want to continue.
Rural communities and farming are for us as important to Ireland's future as they have been to our past. Our most important Indigenous industry supports tens of thousands of jobs, as well as having a unique role in our economic, social, cultural and environmental lives. This government has built the largest and most dynamic CAP programme in the history of the state, which is designed to support farm incomes like never before, while also supporting farmers to meet our ambitious climate targets.
We want to continue to build on the world-class education system we've established at primary and secondary level, and that's why we established the new Department of Further and Higher Education, where we've increased the number of college places, we've revolutionised apprenticeships, we've created many new pathways for people to achieve upskilling and retraining, and of course we've reduced the cost of education on students and on their parents alike.
This year we've had the largest allocation ever for older person services. I'm very proud that we have the highest life expectancy in the EU as deemed by the World Health Organization. We continue to invest in our social care model, prioritising daycare, meals on wheels, dementia supports, home care and nursing homes. It has also been a year of record funding for mental health. Youth mental health is a key priority, and funding secured in Budget 2024 will allow for additional recruitment for CALMS teams to improve access to services, drive efficiencies and reduce waiting lists. I am proud to be the Minister for Mental Health and Older People.
Fianna Fáil and government have transformed how we approach disability issues. With the transfer of disability from the Department of Health to the Department of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth happening under Fianna Fáil, it is vital we no longer see disability as just a health issue, but a rights-based equality issue. This ensures that disability inclusion is at the heart of policy formulation and decision-making.
This year, we mark 25 years since the Good Friday Agreement was signed, an agreement our party and Taoiseach at the time was central to achieving. In government, we established the Shared Ireland initiative as we are determined to address the unmet need for much deeper engagement, understanding and reconciliation between different communities on this island. We will also be increasing our support for humanitarian and development aid to help the furthest behind first across the world. And we'll also continue to keep in contact and support the Irish abroad in all corners throughout the world.
Fianna Fáil is the party of justice and fairness. We are committed to building stronger, safer communities and ensuring our cities and towns are a safe and an attractive place to visit, live and do business. We are very conscious of the impact that crime has on the quality of life for local communities in both urban and rural areas. We are investing in diverting young people away from involvement in crime to make youth diversion projects available in every community in Ireland for the first time. Problem gambling is one of the most insidious public health problems we have in this country. We are delivering legislation among the strongest in Europe to establish the first gambling regulator in Ireland. This will safeguard our children and society from gambling abuses and protect those most vulnerable and susceptible to gambling addiction.
In Fianna Fáil, we are committed to putting Ireland on a more sustainable path, cutting emissions, creating a cleaner, greener economy and society, and protecting us from the devastating consequences of climate change. This government has enacted the landmark Climate Act and launched a transformative and ambitious climate action plan. This will set Ireland on a path to net zero emissions no later than 2050 and to a 51% reduction in emissions by the end of the decade. In transport, we've delivered further reductions in fares and introduced new services for families and commuters all over the country. And we are funding the protection and renewal of our national road system.
Under Fianna Fáil, the Sports Capital programme is the biggest ever investment in grassroots sport in the history of the state. And this year, being a watershed year for women's sport, we've doubled funding for our Women in Sport programme. This reflects our commitment to provide increased opportunities for women and girls' participation in sport. But boosting participation levels in sport at every level of ability is key to my approach. And we are also working to help those with a disability and the most disadvantaged in our society to actively participate in sport.
Our party stands with Irish business. We meet and listen to businesses and business organisations of all sizes across the country. It is a priority of Fianna Fáil to promote the growth of Indigenous Irish business. They are the backbone of our economy, and we will continue to improve enterprise supports to drive that sector forward in a modern and dynamic economy.
I am proud of what our party in government has helped our country to overcome in the past 3 years and the policies we've put in place for sustained long-term progress. We have an unmatched commitment to tackling the most urgent challenges of this generation. Action on climate change, action on housing, health, and action on building a lasting peace and reconciliation on our island. Working together, we will achieve a lot. Fianna Fáil in government is delivering for Ireland, delivering for you.